This young woman realtor is not a fan of client lunches and is wondering, is it a necessary evil to actually get business, or am I able to grow my business without them? And so today we're going to go through this, and I'm going to tell you what I think she should be doing. And so let's go through the post right here on Reddit. She says, as a young woman realtor, I'm not a fan of the idea of client lunches or dinner. And I also just don't see the point of it regardless of the realtor. If you want to talk about selling, why not just meet at the property? If we're doing a buyer's consultation, why not meet at a coffee shop or at my actual office? Valid point. Going for lunch is a lot more time consuming with the nuances of ordering, being waited at a table, and it's a distraction from the point of the meeting, in my opinion. To be clear, I don't mind a celebratory lunch after the deal is closed, but anything before that is just unnecessary, in my opinion. But it seems to be quite normalized in the business. I have a client who wants to sell a property, we haven't closed anything before, and suggested meeting for lunch to discuss. And when I offered meeting at the property instead, I told that I have another appointment afterwards and won't have enough time for the lunch, for the entire lunch. I still haven't heard back yet. Shouldn't I be at the property to see the home in question that you want to sell? LOL. Am I alone in this? I want to see your thoughts. All right. So first, I want you to know that you're definitely not alone. We've had a lot of agents inside our programs that, we're facing a similar situation. Now, here's what I think. First, I don't think you have to do lunch to, get business and to build relationships with prospects, with leads, with clients. I want you to run your business to enjoy it, right? And so a lot of the time we're going to band to accommodate clients, but you're always making a sacrifice. Yes, you can say yes to this, but if you start to say yes to everything that your clients suggest, you also start to lose respect from them because they have control and they're going to see that you don't necessarily value your time as much as you should. And they're also going to start treating you differently. You're going to become their bitch. And so you don't want that because not all clients are good clients, right? You're going to have bad clients, and usually it stems from the expectations you set from the beginning of the relationship. And so if you just start the relationship by saying yes to whatever they want, even though it doesn't fit your agenda, it doesn't fit your style of doing business, it's not going to work out. And look, if they're not happy with that, that's fine. They can go see another realtor. Now, at first, if you're just starting out, you don't want to leave money on the table just because of this, right? But I am telling you, you don't need to do that. That's not why they hire you in the first place. They hire you because they want to sell their home, like you said, and they want help to get the highest price possible, sell as quickly as possible with the least amount of hassle. What does a dinner or lunch have to do with this? Nothing. And so, yes, you should be meeting them at the property and looking at it so that you can give them, what they need. And a good way to respond to this, and by the way, don't worry about your client, your lead that, haven't texted you back yet. I don't think that it is a big deal. They'll probably get back to you. But what I would do here is you always want to frame what you're doing for your client's benefits. And so here's how I would say it. I would say something along the lines of, yeah, sure, happy to go for lunch. That said, my schedule is pretty packed for the next 2 weeks. And so if we were to do lunch, it wouldn't be until 2 weeks from now. That being said, though, I would still need to look at the house anyway to give you a proper CMA and, kind of map out a game plan if you were able to sell, right? And so I'm going to be in the neighborhood this week, right? Would Thursday 6 p.m. or Saturday 11 a.m. work best for you? And then you just take back control of the conversation. Whether you're doing this over the phone, over Zoom, or over text, you never just want to be at the mercy of what your client is suggesting. You could say, yeah, sure, we could do that. I'm not sure when I'm going to be available to do that. And so you're not saying no directly, but you're yeah, sure, we could do that. It's just I'm really packed with my schedule right now. And, I have a lot of clients to serve, and I want to make sure the same way I give good quality service to my clients. If you were ever to work with us, I want to make sure that I can dedicate as much time as possible to this, getting you the best price and mapping out a plan that will make sense to you instead of just spending our time on ordering food and stuff like that. And then you take back control of the conversation. Suggest maybe 2 times what would work best for you, so I can come by, take a look at the property, and map out a game plan, right? And so once you start to like take back that frame, people will see you and accept your standard. They'll see you for like, okay, like that realtor is successful, she's busy, she has other things going on, and she doesn't really have time for this. And so, yes, I'll just follow your lead, and that's it. What you don't want is to start following your client's lead or drop your standards. And look, if you ever lose a client because of that, because they don't want to go for lunch, then that client would have probably been a nightmare client anyway, because they don't respect you, they don't follow your process. And when they don't respect you and you don't have leadership over them, like what will happen when you need to announce to them that you need to do a price reduction? Or, what will happen when you actually suggest the list price, on the listing appointment, and it doesn't make sense to them? Do you think it's gonna, they're gonna agree with you? And do you think like they're gonna be trying to like find workarounds and just go with like what you tell them? Probably not.